and gentlemen, welcome back to the Exceptional Conservative Show live from the nation's capital. That's Washington, D.C. to you and me. We have with us tonight an MD. Well, not in the sense of a medical doctor, but someone in the sense of someone who understands the business community from the grassroots up and wants to improve the overall health of not only your company, but also the community at large. He is none other than Fernando Suarez. Over 33 years of experience in business. Fernando Suarez Business Advisors is in Philadelphia. You can find them on Facebook at FS Tax. They also do tax and accounting services. If your business is struggling with that, you definitely need to pick up the phone and call them. 215-457-2100. 215-457-2100. Here tonight to help not only provide an assessment and diagnoses of the health of the American economy in the eyes of small business, but as well what we can do to improve not only your small business, but the government's reaction to your small business. Good evening, sir. It's a tremendous pleasure, honor to have you on the air with us tonight.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, Ken. Hopefully we can make it a great night.
It will be. Fernando, there are businesses that we know are struggling, but those businesses don't know that they are completely struggling. There is estimates that many small businesses are not going to make it by December as a result of the response to COVID-19. I want to first ask you, in the sense of the government's response, was it prudent in the way that they handled this from day one in terms of working with small businesses, and which should have been done differently?
Was it prudent? Well, I'm sure the Trump administration knew something was coming, but how can you react so quickly? I think the reaction of Donald Trump was very good. And you very well know that the media controlled everything. Whatever Donald Trump did properly, the media didn't cover, and whatever they could take out of context, they did take out of context and blow it up tenfold. So what's actually happening in the city of Philadelphia or small businesses, it's the same thing that went on with COVID, which happens all the time. The small business owner is not listened to. Yes. The small business owner they don't care about small business because they believe that small businesses have no impact. And in fact, if you add up all the small businesses versus mid-sized business or multi-million-dollar businesses, small businesses control more money than the largest corporations. It's just that it's not added up properly and we're not listened to. There's a whole different disconnect coming from my end where the money's not being tracked properly. And if it was tracked properly, there would be no problems in cities across the nation. A city like Philadelphia, just like Chicago or Los Angeles, is so terribly run at City Hall in reference to business, in reference to taxes, in reference to how to help grow the cities, that it's really, how can I put it, sad, yes, desperately sad that these cities are just imploding with the way that they're running things.
Many businesses have responded that they feel oppressed, and that literally they can't seem to do anything right when it comes to business. Walmart can stay open 24/7 if it wants to, but Julian's gourmet organic fruit stand can't. Is this discrimination in the way that you see it?
Completely. You know that there's a huge agenda on trying to destroy the United States from the outside, from the inside. So if you take a look at a company, Walmart sold itself out a long time ago, and you know there's so many different Walmarts have actually closed down their businesses, which are successful, just to create concentration camps. And if Hillary would have won, someone like me would be in a concentration camp because we'd be speaking out, and they wouldn't like that. There is so much abundance in money at the highest level that they really don't care. And killing the small businesses, they don't even do it on purpose. They just don't even know. You take a look at city council here in Philadelphia, most of them don't even know what a business is. They have no acumen of how to run a business, and all they do is create more and more government and by your vote, and so we can get more free money, and then we get impoverished to becoming more and more enslaved. I mean, Philadelphia is where everything started and where everything's experimented. And you can see
Yeah.
very clearly how we're enslaved through the welfare system, through begging and pleading and asking for money from the federal government when it's very simple. In other countries, it doesn't just not exist. Handouts do not exist in other countries. But in Philadelphia or other cities in the United States, it's like gimme, gimme, gimme. And this entitlement, it's just the next generation is bombarded with like, oh, but it should be fair. And it's
Yeah.
not that way. And there's a mixture. There's a mixture. The immigrant that comes here, which most small business owners come to a city like Philadelphia, they come here to hustle. They come here to because they don't get free money. They don't get free welfare. They got to actually work their butt illegally, then to become legal. And then by the time they're mixed up, they're in the system and they can't speak out. That's the problem. A small business owner cannot talk like I'm talking right now. And they can't say, look, that's the problem right there. And they get they huddle down because of a language barrier and because they have no fortitude to say this is the way it is. We're being abused. In Philadelphia, they have a soda tax. I don't know how many other cities they have a soda tax. It's totally to destroy inner city by the larger companies. A company like Walmart can sustain paying a soda tax. But these small grocery stores selling less than $1 million, they're being destroyed. 30% of their income comes from soda.
Exactly.
So
Fernando, what you're saying here, Fernando, is that virtually there seemed to be a disconnect to even begin with before we even get into COVID-19. And now it is even more accelerated since the interest is on big ticket companies and not on the smaller ones. Now, I want to give you an example of a small business, Juan's Floral Shop, where he is basically just making it enough to pay his employees. And there are months where he goes by without actually receiving a paycheck. Now he's being told that he is liable for his workers, meaning if one of them gets COVID-19, that they can sue his company. How does that impact small businesses?
Well, there's so much confusion out there. I mean, just with the statement that you just said is enough confusion to not know what to do. You know, we're in October now. We're in the end of October. October, November, December are horrible days because our entire country is based on the income tax system where people get their money February, March, and April. Yep. So you see an upswing in all small businesses and all the economies because people are getting the refund, just like a stimulus check. It gets an influx of money. The economy starts going up. But now when you're hitting October, November, December, it's like struggle, struggle, struggle. And now with this information, not having enough information and spelled out, it's been really difficult. I mean, just with the SBA, thank God we have the stimulus through the PPP and the grants coming around.
Yes.
It's the first time that we've been given money from the government. I mean, Trump gave me over $100,000. I'm like, thankful. But not everyone qualified. And right now people are struggling and struggling because of one thing, disinformation. It's always happened.
Now, in the sense of the employee, or forgive me, the employer, the small business owner who is trying to make it until there is another stimulus, which may not happen until February of next year, to be all honest. What can that particular person begin doing with their business? What should they, when they sit down with you, what should they be bringing with them to talk with you about their condition?
Well, one thing is what they bring to me, because most people go to someone like myself because they have a gun to their head. You know, it's just, I got to do my taxes, so I got to keep my license so I can make money. So when they come to me, it's more out of fear, obligation versus learning and progressing. So what I've noticed is that these small business owners, they're hustlers. If they're
Yeah.
not making, let's say they own a grocery store. If they're not making a grocery store business and they can figure out a way to find another niche temporarily in the car business, they're getting into it. Or if they're in the car business and for some reason all they're doing is tinting car windows, but they're not doing auto mechanic, they're shifting over to auto mechanic. So small business owners are in, they love to learn, they love to hustle and find the ways. So there's a difference between your question is what should we be doing for the future and what are they actually doing?
Yes.
I believe that for the future, they need to buckle down because the Federal Reserve has been taken over. There's going to be a change of money drastically. And we're going back to the gold standard. And people are not aware of that. How is it going to hit? We're not sure right now. You know, there's also another disease coming. It's called Disease X. And we don't even know where it's coming from, but it's planned for December. How true is it? I'm not sure. So putting money away, saving money, laying off people. Actually, there's been two groups, people that have risen to the top and said, oh my God, these people are making more money now. And there's people that are so much suffering that there isn't too much help you can do for them other than say, I'm sorry, I wish I could help you. I'm here for a little bit later. You know, just ask me what you need. I'll be able to give it to you. But there is no hope because your stream of income has been shut down by this COVID.
Exactly. Now, are there things that the city council should consider for the months of October, November, and December to aid small businesses specifically? Not, I mean, lots of PPP money went out to a lot of folk, and I'm not talking about the smaller businesses that you know we were intending that money to go to, but major corporations, Harvard University, they all took that money, sucked it in. What can Philadelphia, what can Chicago, what can Los Angeles do to aid individual small businesses to keep going?
Ken, I think it's a little bit too late for city council to do something quickly. I really believe, and check this concept out that I have, Ken. Maybe we can work on it together.
Yes.
Small businesses are the cornerstone of culture and economy of 7 city blocks. So you have a grocery store and you look left, right, up, back, forth. You have about 700 clients that they have on a weekly basis that come into the store. And they're the most influential people in the block. So when you say, what should city council do? Well, city council should have done is sit in businesses for 2 and 3 weeks straight to actually listen to business owners and see what they go through because most of city council don't know what business is. Mm-hmm. And then even though if they did that, they would have been absorbed by the politics of being a politician in a democratic city, of really just looking for the next vote and not really caring about the constituents. But if we empower the small business owner to become block captains and leaders where they can change and become committee people, by that time, it's going to take maybe a couple of years, but they become so influential with their clientele, they're going to bond with their clients. That's why they're called mommies and poppies of the communities, whether it's in Indian or in Hispanic or in Chinese. They're looked up to as the most influential people because they have a little bit more money, because they're driving a little bit nicer car, and they're living in a little bit better neighborhood. They're looked up to. So that influence, we use it to bond. And we use it to get to know our constituents, which are our clients. When we get our clients to listen to us, then we say, listen, we're going to vote for Donald Trump because he's taking care of us.
Yes.
When's the last time the small business owner got taken care of? Well, maybe 1 out of 10 got taken care of by Donald Trump. Not 9 out of 10, 1 out of 10. That's because there was just not enough structuring, not enough planning. And this was something that came overnight. Yep. But if we sat down and converted these store owners, these business owners, into true leaders, not working more, just bonding more, getting more relationships with their clients, then they have with the influence, then they can change city council so we can vote for the city council people that really care about our business. So when they come into the business, they say, hey, Poppy, who are you voting for? Well, I'm voting for Ken for the for mayor of Washington, D.C. Why, Poppy? Why are you voting for Ken for the mayor of Washington, D.C.? Because Ken takes care of our businesses and we take care of you. And that's how it works. That's how
Bingo.
it works. So,
I want to work with you, Fernando, in terms of doing that. And you have a wonderful idea called the Small Business Union. We unify the voice of our members to promote their stores, trades, businesses in their communities. How is that working in terms of Philadelphia? And what can we do to make it even more successful?
well, you can imagine a store owner. They're working 13 hours a day.
Yeah.
Before Obamacare, I used to be able to pay insurance for all my staff. As soon as Obamacare happened, the second year I said, I can't afford these increases. I'm going to give you the raise. You go pay your insurance on your own. And I'm sorry, I'm done with that because I can't handle that. Well, in the small businesses, we have to defend ourselves. So we must go back and unite ourselves together and defend ourselves together for any type of empowerment, because we cannot do it alone. If you go into a store owner and you start talking anything against being a Republican, or you're showing who you are, because most store owners are Republicans, you're showing that I want to work for my money versus receiving a handout. They will knock you to the ground. I had to suspend some type of advertisement because they were about to physically hit me because I said I like Donald Trump.
Wow.
And yeah, it's terrible. You saw those pictures where they were pulling people out of cars and beating them up. Well, that's Philadelphia. 95% of Philadelphia is Democratic, and you have no hope of changing that. So we have to do it within ourselves. We have to start unifying the small business owners. We have to educate them on how money works, how businesses work, but what their power and their influence really is. So it's a matter of time going through this. And I don't know if you know this, Ken. This is how the United States started. There was a building a few blocks away from Independence Mall. And Independence Mall Hall was where the king resided. So you couldn't meet in Independence Hall. So they would meet at the Union, the Union Hall down the street. And they were suffering the same exact way we're suffering now, identical. And they said they all got together in the back of the hall, and it was the Carpenters Union. I believe it was the Carpenters Union. It was a union hall. And they said, what do we do? What do we do? How do we handle this as business owners? Because we're the leaders. And one person raised a hand. And they said, I know what to do. Let's pray. And at that moment, the United States began.
Wow.
It was small businesses started in the United States, along with the politicians that gave a crap. We know who they are: Benjamin Franklin, Adams, all the politicians that they're trying to destroy the names of them now. Okay.
Yep.
They got together with the small business and said, we can no longer pay this sugar tax, which is like the tea tax. We can no longer pay the cigarette tax, which is like the stamp tax. Okay. They said, let us pray. And then God said, because you put us first, now I'm going to take care of you. And that's when the United States began. We have to start doing that again.
I like that. And I want to offer you our platform at TECN TV to do just that. I would love for you to be a voice to small businesses around the world, to let them know what they need to do to get their liberty, their freedom, and their justice, and as well their voice back. Oh my God. Can you imagine how much better this world would be if small businesses actually had a larger voice? How can people join the Small Business Union? How can people get in contact with you, sir?
Well, we have the website, which is tsbu.org or thesmallbusinessunion.org. But I can give you my personal cell phone, and I can give you the office number. Mm-hmm. My personal cell phone is 215-431-4443. And the office phone number is 215-457-3100. That'll get you direct with the president, Jillian Parkinson. Mm-hmm. And we have our Facebook. We have our Instagram. You can just give us a call, and we will sign you up and make the group bigger and bigger and bigger. Just in Philadelphia, we have an influence over 1,000 businesses, which influences together on a yearly basis a purchasing power of $1 billion.
Wow.
Just 1,000 businesses got together and said, we're worth something. And now we manage $1 billion in food per year. So imagine if we did this in every city. We started another chapter in Washington. We started another chapter in Chicago. We started another one in any area that's interested in uniting small businesses, for those small businesses to have a voice in front of their city council, in Congress, in state representation, and in front of Donald Trump. I mean, I would love for us to go together, Ken, and say, Donald, we have this plan. We've been working on it for some time, and we have results. We need more of your support. Let's do it. He's going to say, do it. Let's go. What do you need? And he's going to say, you got it.
There you go. If Ice Cube can do it, we can do it. Ladies and gentlemen, Fernando Suarez with us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I am telling you, this is a man that you want to know. If it's just your small business you're listening tonight, no matter where you are across the country, you can easily find him on Facebook at FS Tax. You can also call 215-457-3100 to get in contact with him. He will provide the support in terms of advice and counsel for you. And as well, once you got your situation taken care of, you know for a fact that the battle still rages on. You're going to have to make certain that your small business is represented in our courts, in our legislature, and in our executive offices. It can't be done without you. Get in contact with Fernando Suarez ASAP. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. I'll be contacting you soon because I want your voice on TECN TV as often as we can get it. Thank you so much, and God bless you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
God bless. Ladies and gentlemen, we still have a little bit more to do tonight. Craig Huey will be joining us in the second hour. And as well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a huge story coming out of Australia about the lockdown and its impact on students, actually infants, to be honest with you. And it's a very deadly thing. Ken McClinton, TECN TV president. We are the best in urban conservative news, talk, and movies. Listen, we are a republic. We are not a democracy. Democracies are for third world nations. We are a republic made of laws and ruled by laws. And as such, ladies and gentlemen, we were very thankful for having Fernando Suarez with us. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, more of the best in urban conservative talk, the best in urban conservative news, talk, and movies.